So the idea of this series will be a kind of weekly overview of that week's, or whatever amount of time since the last video, of games that have been covered, news relating to the channel, and just really an overall snapshot of the last few days. I hope to upload these each Sunday, but well, as you can tell, I'm uploading it on a Monday now, so yeah, we'll see how the timetable goes. But I think this will be a great way of chatting over broader topics that may not really be possible in other videos, yet I'm sure that we all have our views on. So starting off, we've recently seen a lot of Doom, a game that managed to turn what looked like an absolute confirmed failure into a damn huge success. Its ultra-wide support, supposedly native, but at the same time managing to have issues like background images not filling the screen and gameplay with guns stretched. Something I managed somehow not to talk about in my 21.9 review. God knows how that happened. So it looks like the 21.9 support here could have done with some tidying up. But that said, with so many games in 2016 failing to support ultra-wide resolutions, it's great to see at least moderate support. And talking of failing to support ultra-wide resolutions, the Forza Motorsport Apex Beta was the latest to fail in support for us, with typical UWP limitations pulling the PC platform down ever more. Now, whilst it is still a work in progress, 21.9 support has not been talked about, so who knows what the full game will look like. Furthermore, on the topic of Windows Store games, Quantum Break has been popping up recently in comments with people looking for a redo of my video covering it, as the patch notes for its update a little while ago made it seem like 21.9 support had been added. However, the wording was a complete lie, as it's merely added black bars to the sides so the image would not stretch to fill the screen. Fantastic. Anyway, back on much happier news. The GTX 1080 embargo has been released for testers and benchmarks are flooding through, and it is pretty damn good news. The GTX 1080 is 20 to 30% more powerful than a 980 Ti or Titan X, and 50 to 60% faster than GTX 980, so really it has left the previously top tier notably behind. However, in real-world comparisons, two 980s and SLI still outperform the 1080 in most scenarios, and an overclocked 980 Ti essentially performs the same as the 1080. And I can't fail to find this performance increase is such a standard step. Nvidia has gotten hopes up that it would break the mold that they had set so many times before of increasing their power each round at about 33%. But they've just done it again, and really it's because unless AMD can pull out all the stops and prove that they are an absolutely worthy competitor, Nvidia can continue to cycle each year with moderate power increases and always maintain high demand. My main gripe with the 1080 is the lack of real DirectX 12 support still. I was so sure that they would support it completely, but it turns out no. Nvidia have opted for some ridiculous reason to not support asynchronous shaders, and so AMD are still able to power ahead in performance for DirectX 12 games, with the 1080 only taking the lead overall thanks to raw brute force power. If AMD's new lineup has the raw power combined with the lovely DirectX 12 support, then Nvidia users are in for potentially some trouble keeping up. Now the new 1080/1070 do tote some nice new features, but it's things like the lack of more than two-way SLI that really downhearten me. DirectX 12 was supposed to usher in amazing cross-GPU SLI that would be a huge game changer in the graphics market, but instead it's nothing quite so radical. As this year progresses, we'll see how things pan out, but whilst I love having new cards, I'm still very much going to wait for a 1080 Ti announcement, and most eagerly wait for AMD's announcement this coming June. Anyway, I could talk for ages more about the new GPUs, but I won't. Instead, you guys should go and have a Google around and read up on the latest benchmarks and findings, as they are damn interesting. And whilst I've been so steadfast in sticking with Nvidia cards for so long, it looks like AMD has a massive opportunity to step in and win us all over. On this point, check out my video on my recommendations for what GPU you should use to run at 21/9. Links for this and everything else will be in the description. In other other happenings, my video and asking you guys what you want has been a fantastic success. I'm only now catching up to reply to the comments you all left, but I read them right away and I've really taken in so many ideas. You guys blew me away with the potential for what we can make this channel become. Seriously, a massive thanks. And I hope that you'll feel you can always let me know what you'd like to see in the future, as I'll always make sure to change and innovate to keep things interesting and fresh. I can't believe how far things have come in a year and hope they can continue changing as much for years to come. Just a comparison, I had 20 subs by this day last year. That's a shocking difference. But yes, as I say, I've already made 2 videos, this being one, that were direct ideas from you guys, so I hope you all love them. Coming up at some point, I'll stick up a video on performance comparisons for running 2560 by 1080 versus 3440 by 1440, and also 16:9 versus their ultra-wide resolution counterparts. A suitable follow-up on my video on what GPU to buy, though I want a very large range of games to be covered in it, so it might take a while to cover properly. Finally, of the upcoming planned videos, I'm not far from releasing my video on a truly fantastic game that has the potential to be a favourite of mine when it's fully released. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'll be covering the beta, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, that's pretty much it. We have had supposedly leaked info on the newest AMD cards performance, but honestly, I'm not going to bother looking into them too much, as unless they're substantiated, I'll be none the wiser if we're actually going to see AMD competing in raw power against Nvidia this time round. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Hope this new series fits well with you all, and I'm now off to watch Peaky Blinders. See you later.